Indigenous Ways of Knowing, Considerations for Researchers Working in Indigenous Communities. Sovereignty, presented by the Center for Native Child and Family Resilience.
I think knowing the protocols of the community, the nation, the village, wherever we're going into, I think that's really important. And I think that would really speak to, respect and honor for the people.
Recognizing and honoring tribal sovereignty is one of 4 essential IWOK knowledge areas. In the context of research and evaluation, it is vitally important that researchers and evaluators understand, acknowledge, and honor tribal autonomy in tribal jurisdictional issues.
One of the things that I think about is John Neihart came to our people and asked to speak to somebody that knew our grandfather, Crazy Horse, our great leader, and he wanted to interview them. And so somebody sent him to one of the relatives, an elder named Black Elk, and he asked him if he knew of him and if he could interview him. And he said, I've been waiting for you. You're going to tell my story. He said, you're going to tell my vision. So he said, but I can only, and this wasn't just right away, this was over time, and I can only tell you if you're related to me because this is my vision, he said. So he adopted him as a son and he prayed about it. They filled a sacred pipe and they prayed and he shared his vision. So that vision is now Black Elk Speaks, and it's translated into hundreds of languages. People are really take to his story and his vision. But what if he walked away and said, no, I want to speak to somebody about the grandfather Crazy Horse, or no, I don't want to be adopted. That would have been lost. But it was meant to be. It was meant to be that way. So I think about the things that the research and the evaluation that's being done in our communities, that it really has to be prefaced by knowing the protocols and I guess being open to them and to following them, even if it conflicts with our own ways of understanding.
As researchers, it is important to respect and honor cultural protocols such as cultural adoptions. As evaluators, it is critical for your work to understand community engagement, Indigenous wisdom, and Indigenous practices, as our people have been doing this since time immemorial.
Oftentimes, as evaluators, we had to come in once a program had been developed. And here we are saying honor Indigenous knowledge, work on issues of importance of context and community, the importance of engagement, the importance of having a cultural metaphor to kind of represent your program rather than just a logic model, but a metaphor built off of that. The importance of having consultation across departments or across elements of the community, and not see yourself as we've got a grove of trees as just not one tree in a grove that's a community. But all of those things are important when you're developing programs. And I think we are very much able, as we articulate what is important in Indigenous research and evaluation, to share that is wisdom that's important even when we're developing our programs, so that it's a natural marriage between what a program is about and how it's going to build in evaluation practice. I just hope that we can, from my perspective as evaluators caring about Indigenous practice, help people become more embracing of Indigenous practice when they're developing proposals and pushing against some of the requirements in a proposal that don't quite fit in an Indigenous community.
When a non-tribal member enters tribal land, they must learn and have great respect for traditional native ceremonies. If you don't know about indigenous ceremonies, ask a tribal member from that tribe for direction, guidance, and understanding.
That's where a lot of times we open the door for the ceremonial things that are taking place. We kind of, I don't know that, a program like this has no, working in child, with monetary funds passing back and forth, really don't have any business in a, in a Sundance or in a, in a just trying to get to know what a Native American church ceremony is like, or participate in some of these other ceremonies that we have. That's not what we're saying here. We're saying we really, it has to be organic, and it has to come from the heart, and everybody has to really engage that relationship building process, and it takes time.
The Center for Native Child and Family Resilience was funded by the Children's Bureau, Administration for Children and Families, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, under Cooperative Agreement number 90CA1853. The contents of this product are solely the responsibility of JBS International Incorporated and do not necessarily reflect the official views of the Children's Bureau.